Welcome to the Military Interstate Children's Compact Commission's training. This session will focus on Compact Article 5, Placement and Attendance. It will explore the background of the Interstate Compact, how it assists military-connected students who transfer during their senior year, and how schools, through the Compact, can accommodate these students to ensure they graduate on time. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, there are more than 1.2 million service members on active duty. Of those, 52.6% are married and 51% are below the age of 25. This translates to 1.65 million military-connected students, with more than half of those between the ages of 5 to 18 years old. A majority, 76% of military-connected students, are enrolled in public school systems across the United States. 10% attend private schools. 8% are enrolled in Department of Defense Education Activity or DoDEA schools, and 6% are in homeschool programs. We will explore how these facts and figures relate to the MIC3 in a moment, but first, what is an interstate compact? Interstate compacts predate the U.S. Constitution and are contractual agreements between the states enacted through legislative means to resolve a dispute, study a problem, or create an ongoing administrative mechanism for managing interstate agreements. It allows state governments to work collaboratively and jointly, problem-solve common concerns and issues without federal intervention or regulation. Two things to note specific to the MIC3. First, rules adopted by the Commission have the force and effect of statutory law and supersede any inconsistent state laws. Second, the Commission has the authority to enforce the Compact and its rules upon its member states. This grants MIC3 the authority to implement consistent education practices when working in partnership with schools and military families. The Compact applies to military members on active duty, as well as National Guard and Reserve on Title X orders. Members of the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration and U.S. Public Health Services are also covered by the Compact. In addition to these groups, members or veterans who are medically discharged or retire are also covered for a period of 1 year following their discharge or retirement. The children of members who perish while on active duty are also covered by the Compact for a period of 1 year following the service member's death. The Compact applies to military-connected students in public schools, and through a Memorandum of Understanding, children who attend DoDEA schools are also covered. Finally, the Compact applies to students in kindergarten through 12th grade. The Compact focuses on key educational transition issues and seeks to inform school systems of the unique educational challenges transitioning military children face. On average, a military-connected child will transition 6 to 9 times during their educational career. Because of this, the Compact allows for the uniform treatment of military students alongside their civilian peers. The Compact does not advocate for preferential treatment. Instead, it seeks to level the playing field for military-connected students. It does not impact the state's or local education authority regarding curriculum. As stated previously, MIC3 only applies to kindergarten through 12th grade, so preschool and provisional or pre-kindergarten programs are not covered under the Compact. The Compact does not apply to private, parochial, homeschool, or international schools. Why is the Compact important if it does not cover every educational issue that a transitioning student might encounter? Again, it highlights the unique education challenges faced by military children. The Compact provides districts and schools flexibility to make accommodations, and it allows states, through the Compact commissioners, to converse and facilitate cases. Prior to the Compact, this mechanism of support for transitioning military families did not exist. But through the Compact and the role of the Compact Commissioner as school liaison, these families now have support and a process to resolve education-related issues. Let's examine Compact Article 5, Placement and Attendance. The provisions of Article 5 are intended to promote flexibility and cooperation between the educational system, parents, and the student in order to achieve educational success for the student. there are 4 key provisions addressed by Article 5. This session, we will review the 3rd provision of this article, Special Education Services. It is important to note that Compact Article 5, Section C, is referencing federal law and citing the appropriate provisions of the United States Code, which impose federal requirements on public school districts with respect to students with disabilities in order to secure the rights of these children to receive the same education as children who are not disabled. The rules and regulations of an interstate compact, like MIC3, supersede any state laws or regulations and have the force and effect of statutory law. When a state joins an interstate compact, they are entering a contractual agreement between the member states enacted through legislative means by the adoption of the Model Compact language. While the rules and regulations of an interstate compact supplant state law, it does not supersede federal law. Member states of an interstate compact are subject to the laws and regulations passed by the federal government. Education-related areas, such as special education, are guided by federal law that mandates what states and interstate compacts must do to meet the needs of students with disabilities. The Individuals with Disabilities Act, or IDEA, leaves room for states to interpret the rules and pass their own laws on how to apply them. However, state laws cannot contradict the IDEA, and states cannot provide less than the federal law requires. As a consequence, neither the MIC3 Commission or Commissioners have the authority or responsibility under federal law to implement the requirements set forth in the IDEA or Section 504 or Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA. While the MIC3, as an interstate compact, does not replace the federal IDEA, it shares resources with and promotes communication to military families with exceptional family members. The 3rd provision of Article 5, outlined in Compact Rules, Chapter 500, Section 5.103, Special Education Services, states the receiving school shall initially provide comparable services for a student with disabilities based on the student's current Individualized Education Program, or IEP. Under the Compact, the receiving school is required to provide the same service outlined on the student's IEP, but not the exact same program. The receiving school shall make reasonable accommodations and modifications to address the needs of incoming students with disabilities, subject to an existing 504 or Title II plan, to provide the student with equal access to education. The Compact does allow the receiving school to perform subsequent evaluations to ensure appropriate placement and appropriate services. The receiving school shall follow any current regulations the receiving state has in place in order to comply with federal or state law. To understand the Special Education Services provision of Article 5, let's review a case involving a military-connected student. A family will transition from State A to State B. The family's 3 children each have an IEP from a previous school. Currently, the family is on homebound status. The family was on a short-term assignment and did not feel, given the condensed time frame, it was the appropriate time to try to integrate their children into public school. Unfortunately, the IEPs have expired over the course of the previous year. The parents have been in discussions with the school district, but the receiving school had stated it was unwilling to follow the now expired IEP. To assist with this case, the Compact Commissioner engaged the State Department of Education representative on the MIC3 State Council. The Department of Education representative stated the Department of Education would be the appropriate point of contact for this case, as it falls under IDEA and not MIC3. The case was referred to the Problem Resolution System Office within the Department of Education, and the family was provided support. If you would like additional information about Compact Article 5, placement and attendance, please contact your local school liaison or your state's Compact Commissioner. Their contact information can be found on the Commission's website at www.mic3.net. Simply click on the interactive map to select your state. Thank you for attending the Military Interstate Children's Compact Commission training on Compact Article 5, Placement and